and welcome to our another online class. Today, in our this session, we will study moods. Moods, their definition, types and examples. Different moods that we use in our English grammar, we will discuss them thoroughly. Whenever we want to express our emotions, feeling or saying, we use some moods that are helpful in expressing our sense of self or the views whatever we want to say. Through these moods, we can easily find out the sentence or the form of the sentence. We can find out the essence of the sentence also through these different types of moods used in English grammar. With different moods, we can make sentences simple, easy and understandable. So, these moods are important while doing grammatical work or while framing sentences, because these moods will tell us which type of the sentence is it. Means what we want to say. Whatever we say will express our mood. Means mood will help us to understand the sentence clearly. So, we are going to discuss some similar moods in our English grammar today. We know that the tense of a verb indicates when an action occurred, but each verb also has a mood that tells us how the action is viewed or perceived by the speaker. It indicates whether something is a fact, opinion, command, suggestion, request, order, wish, or an imaginary situation or uncertainty. So, these moods will help us to understand the use of the verb or the tense of a verb that indicates which type of action has been occurred in that statement. So, let us begin our class with our new topic, mood. In grammar, mood is used to refer to a verb category or form which indicates whether the verb expresses affect, command, a request, question, or a wish or possibility. In grammar, mood is used to refer to a verb category or form which indicates whether the verb expresses a fact, command, a question, a wish or possibility. Mood is the form of verb. Mood is the form of verb that takes to show how it is to be regarded. Means mood is the form of verb takes to show how it is to be regarded. Means what type of sentence we are talking about. Moods are as important in writing as they are our lives because they provide perspective. Means they are the main theme or main line of English grammar, or you can say they are the base lines. Moods refer to the quality or form of verb in a sentence. Listen carefully. Moods refers the quality or form of a verb in a sentence. So, in grammar, mood is used to refer a verb, category or form which indicates whether the verb express affect, command, equation, or wish or possibility. Mood is the form, a verb that takes to show how it is to be regarded. Moods are as important in writing as they are our lives because they provide perspective. Moods refer to the quality or form of a verb in a sentence. It denotes the tone. It denotes the tone of a verb in a sentence. Means it help us to use the perfect point of verb in the sentence. Means we know that the tense of a verb indicates when an action occurred, but each verb has a mood and it tells how the action is or what the tone of the verb is in the sentence. There are 5 basic types. First, indicative mood, in which there is affect or an opinion. Imperative mood, sentence containing a command or instructions. Interrogative mood, question, asking something. A sentence asking something means in question form. Conditional mood, having a condition in the sentence. Subjunctive mood, a wish or possibility is there in the sentence. So there are 5 basic types. First, indicative mood. Second, imperative mood. Third, interrogative mood. Fourth, conditional mood. Fifth, subjunctive mood. So all these 5 moods will help us to frame sentence or make us sure to understand the sentence clearly. Fact and opinions are given in indicative mood. Command and instructions are illustrated in imperative mood. Question means asking form will be there in interrogative mood. There will be a such condition means conditional sentences will be there in conditional mood. Wish or possibility will be there in subjunctive mood. So all these types of moods contain these different types of qualities that tell us about the sentence straightforward. It is the use of verbal inflections. Mood is the use of verbal inflection that allow speakers to express their attitude towards what they are saying. Means all these moods will help us to express our views. Means whatever we want to say, it will depend upon all these moods. It is also known as mode or modality. It is also known as mode or modality. So, mood indicates whether something is affect, opinion. Mood indicates whether something is affect, opinion, command, instruction or suggestion, asking something, wish or imaginary situation or uncertainty. All these points will be illustrated in these different types of moods, and all these will help us to express our attitude towards whatever we want to say. So it is also a use of verbal inflections. So let us discuss all these moods step by step. First, we will discuss the indicative mood. Indicative mood. It is a verb form that makes a statement or asks a question. Most sentences are in the indicative mood. The indicative mood is a verb form that makes a statement or asks a question. Most sentences are in the indicative mood. Let us see the example. She is driving the car. She is driving the car. Is she driving the car? So here, in this sentence, she is driving the car. This is a simple statement. And we are asking, is she driving the car? And if we write drive the car, then it will be in imperative mode. So, indicative mood is also known as baseline mood. It helps to understand how to form a question or how to write the statement. So, here in these examples, you can see clearly that it's a verb form that makes a statement or that makes a or asks a question. If we mention drive the car, so it will be converted into imperative mood. So these sentences, these formation of sentences, the use of verb will tell us the sentence is in which mood. So here the indicative mood is here because it's a verb form that makes a statement or asks a question. The indicative mood helps us to understand how to form questions. It is the form of the verb that indicates fact or asks questions. These are the, you can say, the main points related to indicative moods. It can also express an opinion because opinions are often stated as fact. It can also express an opinion because opinions are often stated as fact. Here, let us see the example. Lots of rain fall yesterday. This is fact. Lots of rain will fall tomorrow. This is opinion. So, mood can also, this indicative mood can also express an opinion or a fact. So, it is clear with this example. Lots of rain fell yesterday. This is fact. Lots of rain will fall tomorrow. This is opinion. So, indicative mood is the form of verb that indicates fact or opinion also. Means it can also express an opinion because opinions are stated as fact. So, what is indicative mood? Indicative mood is a verb form that makes a statement, or asks a question. The indicative mood helps us to understand how to form question, and it is the form of verb that indicates fact or asks question. It can also express an opinion because opinions are often stated as fact. So, look at these two examples. It will help you to understand the indicative mood better. Here, lots of rain fell yesterday. This is fact. Lots of rain will fall tomorrow. This is opinion. So, here, she is driving the car. Is she driving the car? This is simple statement and this is in the form of question. And if we change into drive the car, so this will become imperative. So the formation of sentence tells us the mood situation. Let us see some examples. Yes, I will show you how to do that. Simple statement. I will show you how to do that. We believe he should go alone. I love to listen sad song. Why is the sky blue? Here it makes or helps us to ask questions also, to frame question also. Pradanya will come to meet me. Simple statement. Have you finished your work? This is in the form of question formation. So the indicative mood states simple statements or asks questions. It is clearly with given examples over here. Our next step is imperative mood. Imperative mood expresses command, prohibition, entreaty, or advice. These sentences don't make mild suggestions. They issue a direct command or order. Listen carefully. Imperative mood expresses command, prohibition, entreaty, or advice. These sentences don't make a mild suggestion. They issue a direct command or order. In these sentences, these imperative mood type sentences, the verb will express a direct call to action. In imperative mood type sentences, the verb will express a direct call to action. The subject you will be understood, because in imperative sentences we don't use the subject. So here the subject you will be understood, or it will be clear who the subject is. Example, move that plate means we are telling someone to move that plate. So you move that plate. So imperative mood expresses command, prohibition, entreaty, or advice. These sentences don't make a mild suggestions. They issue a direct command or an order. In these sentences, the verb will express as a direct call to action, means we will give a direct command. The subject you here, the subject you will be understood, or it will be clear who the subject is, means to whom we are talking about. So the sentences are telling someone else to do an action. So here let us see some examples, and through these examples it will be clear that the sentences are telling someone else to do an action. So all these are in the imperative mood. First, take care. Be careful. Be quiet. Don't forget your mask. Have a great holiday. Make your bed. Don't forget your homework. Read it out loud. Leave the place. So all these sentences are telling someone else to do an action. Means it may be in the form of command or advice. So here first is take care, and one more thing, there will be a sign of exclamation at the end of the sentence. Take care, be careful, be quiet, don't forget your mask, have a great holiday, make your bed, don't forget your homework, read it out loud, leave the place. So the imperative mood in this one, the verb will express, the verb will express a direct call to action. Verbs, here underlined verbs, these underlined words are verbs. So in these sentences, the verb is expressing a direct call to action, and the subject you will be understood, or it will be clear who the subject is. Means we are talking, means to whom we are talking, or to whom we are giving all these advices and commands. Our next is interrogative mood. It is used to ask questions. The interrogative are formed by adding an auxiliary verb to another verb. Interrogatives are formed by adding an auxiliary or helping verb to another verb. In sentences with an interrogative mood, the auxiliary verb will often come before the subject of the sentence. So here, interrogative mood. In interrogative mood, we use an auxiliary verb, means we use two verbs. One is an auxiliary, the another one is main verb. So here it is used to ask questions. Interrogatives are formed by adding an auxiliary verb to another verb. In sentences with an interrogative mood, the auxiliary verb will often come before the subject of the sentence. A question mark will also come at the end of the sentence. Let us see some examples. Are you coming to the party? Question mark. Is he going to movie? Here first is auxiliary verb, means two verbs. There will be two verbs in each sentence. Are you coming to the party? Question mark. Is he going to the movie? Question mark. Have you been there before? Question mark. Do they cut the cake? Question mark. Should we do that? Question mark. When is she leaving? Question mark. Where have they gone? Question mark. Did you make a profit? Question mark. Who is the in charge of this class? Question mark. Has Anmol become sick? Question mark. So all these sentences tell us about the asking portion of the sentence. Means in this we will find the theme of asking something from someone, and we will add a question mark at the end of the sentence. So I hope you will have understood whatever we discussed in this topic. Thoroughly read the definition and examples with the rules thoroughly, and practice yourself. Thanks and have a nice day. Thank you.